Good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing today? Tell you what, it is hot here. It is air you can wear. Let's see who all is in here. Allegedly was in at like 5:10 a.m. this morning. Allegedly is following the case. And let me tell you about this case. There's crazy, and then there's crazy. And this is there's no word. There's no word for it. Shannon, Georgia Peach. Outlaws here. Magoo, Eddie. Preschool Granny, Uli. Gaelic, what you doing, girlfriend? Katrina. Kayla. Aggie's back. How you doing, Aggie? Big T's mom. What's up, my friend? DT. Uli. Think I got everybody. Juicy Tequila Bobo. I know you're loving this story. I can just imagine the conversations you've had about it. This is insane. Good morning, November Day. Sarah, how are you? Katie Bird, Wolfcat, just me. Hi, Chris. I plead the fifth. Emmy, what's up, Emmy? Pegasus, Victoria. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I will catch it later. There is Alibis and Pretty Little Lies. Hello, Court Case. Snow, Lori, Darkness Exposed. Ree, hi, Ree. So for those of you that were in for the show yesterday, we had two shows yesterday, so hopefully you caught them both. We went live. It wasn't our normal setup. We are just waiting for the announcement that they had been captured. Talk about a dramatic ending. We heard that they're headed to the beach, that they're in the southeast. Many people said Mexico, which that's a likely scenario. I mean, I think anytime someone's missing, people always, assume they're running to Mexico. Evansville, Indiana. Evansville, Indiana. So much for the beach. So much for the beach. There's some new footage out. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go through, try to keep it as short as possible. But I tell you what, this case makes my jaw drop. I got Shannon backstage. Let's see what she's up to. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Shannon.
My mic was muted. Hello, good morning.
Well, it showed your device wasn't connected, and then all of a sudden your avatar disappeared. So I didn't know what was going on back there.
I'm here. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Just trying to get, it's hot as hell, and just trying to wrap my mind around this case. I was out on I was traveling with my husband for a few weeks. I was just in Evansville a couple weeks ago. Now, mind you, this is like way before they went missing or anything, but still, it just made my jaw drop. I'm like, really?
I was just there. Yeah, like that's crazy.
I mean, we all had a lot of guesses, and they were all really good theories as to where they could be. I heard off of the Natchez Parkway, I think someone said. Many people said, no, they're in Florida somewhere. Their Appalachian Trail, we heard that. Of course, Mexico came up a lot. Ozark Mountains. A lot of places where they are just undercover, off the grid. You can throw that dart all day and nobody hit Evansville, Indiana.
Right?
Nobody.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Nope. I feel very bad for Vicky's mom. I can not imagine the hurt, anger, disappointment, and I mean everything that encompassed her when she was watching this unfold on TV, just like the rest of us,
And the way it ended, her heart must be, and she's elderly. I mean, that's just, my heart breaks for her. Absolutely.
Very unfair thing for Vicky to do to her mother and the American public, if you want to know the truth. I mean,
I agree.
I had several people reach out to me because I had put it on the community tab yesterday that they believe they're in Evansville. And I'm getting these emails going, "Oh my God, I don't live that far from there, or I do live there." Like, I mean, they're literally worried. Not cool. Not cool.
And I know you'll get into it, but they were there 6 days. 6 days.
So, yeah, they were in a hotel for 6 days. The way this unfolded is just, it's actually, if it wasn't for the fact that, Vicky is deceased now, she's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be treated and released or anything. She is dead. All of the victims that have come across Casey's path, obviously her mother grieving. So, I mean, besides those things, which are incredibly sad, how it all unfolded is hilarious. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. We've been talking for what, 11 days about what a well thought out plan and everything. In the middle
Not
of the day, 6'9" lurch without a disguise, tattoos exposed and everything, was out washing the getaway truck they stole in Tennessee.
it just it blew my mind, and it's not one of the things. This is not how I thought it would end. In a way,
Mm-mm.
like if they were captured, I figured we all said blaze of glory. Um, we just didn't think that it would go. I didn't think it would go down like this. Not with her, especially. So that threw me off. I'm sure somebody else might have thought of that. I didn't. I really didn't.
Love is blind. Love is blind. I mean, he's out
Absolutely.
there. He's out there doing his husbandly duties. Hey, hun, you take a nap. I'm going to go wash the getaway truck we stole. Oh, okay, honey. I'll have some beefaroni and biscuits for you when you get back.
Right. And we can watch Shrek and Fiona on TV.
Or we can watch the nationwide manhunt of where people think we are and make sure not to go there.
And just laugh our little butts off at it, and we're in the clear. I
Oh, and
mean,
I apologize. I have to correct myself. I did read that this morning. Okay, last night they were saying stolen. The marshals said they bought all three cars, I believe, because so we had the orange car, the pickup truck he was washing, and then a Cadillac, I believe. They
they got
purchased
them
all
in
of them.
Cadillac. See, I wondered if they did. That was my thought. She had to have bought at least another, and I think I even said, if not a third getaway vehicle.
Yeah, there's three.
Because yeah, the pre-planning was really good, but the after planning, luckily to the public, was horrible. Horrible.
Well,
So
they hunkered
that,
down.
but
I mean, they hunkered down in that motel, like I said, for like 6 days. There was really no need for him to go. It's not like you're shining it up because you're going to take it down to Jim Glover Dodge and trade it in, Casey. You had no reason to go wash the
no.
car in the middle of the day on camera.
It was almost as if they were like acting like a married couple.
Well, we're going
Like,
to
well, honey, I'll go wash the car for you, babe. You know?
That's what it seems. That's what I'm saying. It's more bizarre and hilarious than ever thought. I mean, I'm gonna assume Vicky has some mental illness.
I was thinking that too, especially after what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when it started, but it it didn't start. I'm not going to use her ex-husband because it didn't start there when he died. Because this, they do think that uh, they've known each other since 2020, and that's when this relationship began.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't know all the details as facts yet, but it seems that way. And I don't know what happened to her. I just don't know.
She fell in love and she threw all caution out the window. So the pursuit, now this came out this morning. The blaze
Mm-hmm.
of glory that we heard about and talked about, suicide by cop, none of that happened.
Nope.
So they had like a 10-minute pursuit. The officers collided with them on purpose. All right, there's no
Mhm.
fender bender here. It was on purpose. When Casey got out, when he crawled his big ass out of there, he said, "Please help my wife. She shot herself and I didn't do it." He's making it sound like they were concerned for him and he's just a regular old guy on the street. Casey, this is a manhunt. 50 states have been looking for you.
And that's not your wife,
Yeah.
unless there's something we don't know.
No,
But
they
I'm
went through
pretty
that
sure
they went through that on the Today Show. They said there is nothing showing that they were married. They were playing house all this time.
that's just sick. That's, I mean, like I always said, where, especially with Vicky, where did you think this would end? Did she already have this pre-planned in her head? Well, if it goes down, I've been in that jail. I'm not going on the other side of those bars. And that's the only thing I could think of why she did that.
I think she had a gun to her telling him, drive, 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 get away, or I'm going to shoot myself. She did.
Probably.
She didn't expect the marshals or whichever officers. I don't know if it's the locals or I don't
I
know which one.
think I think they said the marshals and local law enforcement
I
all
meant that.
pulled into.
I meant that caused the wreck that collided with them. So I
Yeah, I
think,
think it was. I think it was the marshals and the local. If I'm not mistaken, is what I heard on the news. I could be wrong, but
well,
I
I
had
mean,
that wrote down.
I know who all was involved. I'm just trying to remember what they said, like which vehicle collided with them, which agency it was. But anyway, I don't think she was expecting that to happen. She's just like,
No.
get me out of town, get me out of town.
Wow. Let's go. Let's go. Drive faster. Yeah,
Well,
most
and also,
definitely.
can we clear this up? Who was driving? I mean, I keep hearing news reports he was driving
That's
because
what I heard.
if she shot herself, there would have been no reason to do a collision. He can't drive if she's shot in the driver's seat. Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
Britches. Thank you. She said marshals in the Ram truck. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Bama Cat.
yeah, that's what I thought I heard. I wasn't sure.
Okay, so I keep
But
hearing now we're seeing Vicky. So why any collision? She shoots herself. They've said over and over they did not hear any gunshot.
ooh, I wonder, but you've got sirens. I mean, I don't know. Unless she did it during the pursuit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We don't know that yet. That's a lot of noise and a lot of adrenaline with the police, and
Well,
I'm gonna go with he had to be driving. He had to be driving.
I don't know. Let's listen to the scanner. Hang on. Let's listen to the
Okay,
scanner.
good idea.
I've just got a clip that was sent to my email. Hang on.
Okay.
That would help, huh?
Most definitely. These are hard to hear too.
Well, can you hear it? I'm playing it right now.
No, no, I can't hear it.
Oh, okay. Let me do it again.
Let me see.
Need a couple more kids to start heading towards the area of the old Motel 6 on 41.
Can you hear it now?
Yes.
Okay. 0 nothing. 251 around. Go close up.
What?
0 center. Clear. 4 1 540. Paramedic assist at 1109. Pretty place, please. 4 1 540. Fine 230 to Mr. 9. Talk to be on track forward.
Why is it not playing? I know there's no sound now. It's going in and out.
Full versus county. Basically, we could be around driving and there. No, Aliyah.
We need a transcript. This is, you know what?
Well, that's worthless. That's not going to work. All right, let me
Yeah.
get a news clip. Hang on. That'll help.
Okay.
And then there's
Yeah.
a news conference today at 11. Hell, by the time we got done listening to that buffering in and out, it would already be 11 o'clock.
No.
Exactly. T with Grandma Sherry. Was Casey or Vicky driving? Law enforcement. Yes. Because I heard him this morning.
Yeah, I heard him too, that he was driving.
And then I heard a news conference yesterday that she was driving. It's another mystery. It's another mystery. All right, bear with me while I load this. This one's going to work.
Okay. Well, maybe she was driving, or I think the marshals were watching them until they could go get them. Maybe she drove. I don't know. Maybe she drove once. I don't know.
I don't think they would have time to stop and switch drivers, but hey, he also went and washed the truck in the middle of the day with no disguise on.
Yeah, that's maybe she was by herself once and went to the store. They were watching her. I don't know. I have no
And
idea.
we watched it live on here yesterday, so why we're still puzzled, I don't know. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Breaking developments from that 11-day nationwide manhunt for an escaped inmate and a former corrections officer just into our newsroom. That escaped inmate and murder suspect, Casey White, his new mugshot has been released following Monday's chase, crash, and arrest. If you're just getting up to speed here, we're going to give you all the details. Right now, we know that officers are preparing to extradite this man back to Alabama, where an emergency status conference is happening in court today. We're expected to get an update from sheriff's deputies in Florence, Alabama, and Evansville, Indiana, where he was found. Meanwhile, an autopsy is happening later today for Vicky White, who died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on Monday. Remember, Vicky was that deputy, that former corrections officer who helped him escape, allegedly. Our Brian Inton was the first reporter on the scene of this huge breaking story. He's live in Evansville this morning with the very latest. Brian, thank you for all of your hard work in getting this done.
Yeah, Adrian, we are told that overnight Casey White was cooperating with police. He was here at this car wash with Vicky White, and it was the manager here who spotted them. He cracked the case and alerted U.S. Marshals. An 11-day manhunt for an Alabama inmate is over. The former corrections officer who helped him escape is dead. Casey White and Vicky White's captivating romance on the run coming to an end on Monday, 219 miles away in Evansville, Indiana. Officials say it was an attentive car wash manager who clued investigators in on the couple's latest vehicle after the pair had ditched a pickup truck in one of the bays.
U.S. Marshal Service called me. They sent me a text message called from Alabama. And they said, I heard you got a truck towed. I said, I did. I said, that's that guy from Alabama. He said, yes, it is. The U.S. Marshal said not to show what they're driving because I've got her picking him up on surveillance on my cameras.
That information allowing police to quietly pursue the pair. Once cornered, the couple fled.
They came through this grassy area. The Marshals Task Force officers intercepted them, actually collided with them.
Vicky White reportedly turning the gun on herself as investigators surrounded the vehicle. She was taken to a hospital where she later died. Forensics will confirm whether that shot was self-inflicted. Those who knew her, including her fellow corrections colleagues in Alabama, now left with only questions.
Knowing the Vicky that we knew, I think as much as the charges that she was facing coming back, I think what disturbed her more was the fact of coming back and having to face her family and friends.
Casey White was taken into custody in Indiana, where he remains.
I agree with the sheriff there. She was not going to go back and face all them. She's not going to go to the jail that she used to run. I don't know if they would even send her there.
No,
Right, so
they said that they would have actually before she had died. The sheriff said that she will not be returning to that detention center, and that he hoped that she survives because she's got a lot of answering to do. We have a lot of questions. So yeah, you're right.
So I agree with him there. So yeah, I mean, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So when the wreck happened, let me listen to that again. Hang on.
Okay.
Sorry.
Surveillance on my cameras.
That information allowing police to quietly pursue the pair. Once cornered, the couple fled.
They came through this grassy area. The Marshals Task Force officers intercepted them, actually collided with them.
Vicky White reportedly turning the gun on herself as investigators surrounded the vehicle. She was taken to a...
That's the part I wanted to hear. All right, so this didn't happen going down the road. Now, it was reported today on the Today Show by the sheriff in Indiana that when Casey got out, he said, please help my wife, because, they've been playing house for 11 days. That's why he was out washing the car while she got the beefaroni ready. She shot herself, and I didn't do it. He makes it sound like they're there to help him. Come on, Casey.
Right.
Please help my wife. They're not there to help either of you.
No.
And I agree with Court K. Brian Inton's driver must haul ass. How the hell does Brian Inton take SpaceX?
I thought the same thing. It's like, bam, he's there everywhere immediately. But he's good.
I love his coverage. Again, does he take SpaceX? How the hell when he's like, we're on the way? And I'm like, he gets to these places faster than it takes me to get across town to just get groceries.
And I speed. Don't tell anybody, but I kind of speed. And he must, he gets there. It's funny.
Robin, you're exactly right. This is the second girlfriend allegedly who shot herself. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let me finish.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Hospital where she later died. Forensics will confirm whether that shot was self-inflicted. Those who who knew her, including her fellow corrections colleagues in Alabama, now left with only questions.
Knowing the Vicky that we knew, I think as much as the charges that she was facing coming back, I think what disturbed her more was the fact of coming back and having to face her family and friends.
Casey White was taken into custody in Indiana, where he remains this morning. And still so many questions about what went down here, what was going through Vicky White's mind. Her autopsy scheduled for today. But this is interesting, Adrian. The Lauderdale County Sheriff in Alabama who worked with her, he says it is possible that this was not a suicide. He's not sure about it. He says he wants to wait and see the forensics and the autopsy results, but he says it is a possibility. Adrian?
Brian, I know you were chasing this story all day yesterday, driving hundreds of miles after hearing a tip about this car wash manager. You were the first reporter on the scene. Talk us through your day. How did you know that this was a good lead to follow?
Yeah, so we started out in Tennessee, Adrian. We were following up on some leads there where they found that SUV early on in the manhunt. And that's when we got the tip. Something was going down here in Evansville, and it was all centered around this car wash here. And once we heard that U.S. Marshals were in Evansville, we felt it was a good tip. We drove about 2 hours north to where we are right now, and then the whole scene unfolded. We were here at the car wash. Suddenly there was the car chase. We were right behind them, and then the whole thing ended in that crash.
It's just remarkable. And also something that I was a bit surprised about is that this car wash manager tried to tip off police a week ago. So this was something that was happening over days. It wasn't just something that happened yesterday.
Yeah, he was a little frustrated, Adrian, because he first called local authorities when that truck showed up here. Something didn't feel right to him, and he'd been following the story like the rest of us. He felt that this was connected to the couple. Then he goes and looks at his surveillance video and realizes, oh my gosh, that is Casey White. The tattoo matched up. So he just basically kept bugging police, and finally they took it seriously.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yes.
And let me tell you, the car wash attendant, they need to give him the reward. That's just my thoughts, my opinion. I still can't believe with a nationwide manhunt, 6'9" Lurch decided to go wash the car in broad daylight. I really hope that reward money goes to the car wash man. Vicky's money, I'm hoping goes to her mama. You know, sometimes in things like this, they'll take the money and they'll like reimburse for like the search efforts and everything. But I hope it goes to her mom. Sorry, Shan.
Oh, no, I thought I did that. No, it's okay. Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. And I can't believe that they just kind of, thank God he stayed on it, looked at the surveillance and said, hey, look, this is him. And then they got up there, you know? Good for him.
Good for him. Good
It's
for him.
amazing. We brought this to an end. Now, going into what she did to herself, I mean, if he's driving and she's right-handed, and it's, you know, on her right side, that would be kind of hard to explain that it was him, but who knows?
They'll get through that with the autopsy, but I put
right.
Robin's comment. Hang on one second. So Robin said, this is the second girlfriend allegedly who shot herself. Right. Brian Enton spoke with Sheriff Singleton. This is on his Twitter. He said he would not be surprised if the Vicky White gunshot wound was actually not self-inflicted. He says there is no evidence to suggest that, and he will wait on forensics, but that is, in quotes, possible. Now, Sheriff Singleton also said over and over that once she becomes an obstacle or a liability, he'll kill her. And they're going to have to look into it more than Lurch getting out of the car saying my wife shot herself and I didn't do it. We're not taking his word for it because remember, Christy Shelton, his girlfriend from 2008, they've had to reopen that case that it's not a suicide, that it's possible murder. possible murder. So it's all still out there. Oh man, I missed a lot of comments. Hold on, let me try to catch up real quick. What do you think, Shan? Do you think possibly he could have done it?
Now that I read that, yes.
If she's driving, obviously he's not going to shoot the getaway driver. If he's driving, he might reach over and kill her. I don't know.
Well, the fact that he got out and that was his first words, almost like a 911 call saying, I'm not there right now. I'm at work, establishing their alibi, but this is going on at home kind of thing. It reminds me of that. When you first get out of the car, you just surrender and be like, I don't know. I'm conflicted on that, but that's his first words that he said. That kind of it reminds me of that. So he possibly could have. Absolutely. Wow, I can't wait for the autopsy on this.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm going to read his words again. Please help my wife. She shot herself and I didn't do it. Why'd he have to clarify that?
Yeah, that's a red flag. If you really look at that.
Okay, hang on one second. I want to hear more from the car wash attendant, then we're going to get to something else. Give me a second.
Okay.
Vernon Central High School, how may I help you?
I'm calling to help you, actually.
Really?
Get back to the man who tipped.
Because this guy is awesome. And the fact that he had to chase them down. Now, I understand that they were getting tons of phone calls a day. I get it. But nobody, I mean, look at this. Come on. Who is that?
Right.
Same tattoo. He puts on a hat and glasses. That's his disguise.
It's him. I'm glad that he was so pushy with them and said, "Look, it's him, guys." And then looked at the surveillance. I'm sure he sent it to them and then they were like, "Let's go."
It seemed to take a while. Also, he saw her pick him up.
So I'm just glad they got him, but that's, and like you said, they get so many leads, they probably got a lead. He was in Alaska. Who knows? So I get that. But wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Off law enforcement. Brian introduced us to him as well. This is an interview you'll only see here on News Nation. We're speaking to the man who did tell law enforcement about the vehicle that led them to Casey White and Vicky White. James Stinson, that car wash manager who spotted the vehicle, joining us live this morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Walk us through your first thoughts. You noticed the truck, and what's interesting, you noticed this truck on Tuesday of last week, camped out in your car wash bay. Is that right?
That is correct.
That was a long time ago. Did you contact police right away, or did you kind of investigate yourself and then contact them days later?
It showed up on Tuesday around 4:30, and I noticed it there all evening. And the next morning, I left at 6 o'clock. It was still there. I had to take my granddaughter to school. Come back at 7:30. It was still there, and that's when I thought I noticed it had Tennessee plates on it. It was sticking out the bay. I walked up to the truck, and the windows were down, which I thought was odd. I've never had that happen. And I thought, oh, my God, this could be that guy from Alabama. So I was kind of afraid to look over in the vehicle, thinking he might be in there asleep, or dead, passed out, overdose, whatever. But I finally did look in it. The keys were inside in the ignition. I reached in there, started the truck, so I know it run. I knew it wasn't broke down. So then I looked on my phone and I called our local police department and told them I need to get a car out here. I didn't want to call 911, so I called the local number. They said, we'll send an officer out. So I go back to work at the back of my car wash, and I don't even know the police officer showed up. He said he did and run the plates. He said it's not stolen. So by then, I had to go back and get my granddaughter out of school. Then I come back. I didn't know the officer's been there, so I called him back. I said, that officer ain't been here yet. He said, yeah, he said he's been there, been running the plates. It's not stolen, but we'll send him back to you. So they sent him back to me. He gets out, looks in the truck. He starts it up. He sees a gun lock in there. He said, oh, my God, there's a gun lock in there. He said, but there's no gun. So he tells me there ain't nothing I can do. I said, well, I can. I'll have it towed. And that's what I did. I had it towed.
So you had the vehicle towed from your car wash, but you still weren't satisfied because police weren't going to do anything at that present time. So is that when you looked at surveillance footage that you had there from the car wash?
No, it was later on. And I kept looking at him, and he was acting suspicious.
You mean him, meaning
waiting on
who's him?
Casey White.
So you saw him in person?
I didn't see him in person on my cameras. I saw him on my cameras.
Okay. And that's when you decided
I took my phone and I Googled him from Alabama, a picture of him. And I held my phone up to my monitor and the tattoos matched. So that's when I knew it was him.
That's remarkable. And so then from that point, did you contact police again, or is that when you contacted the U.S. Marshals?
The U.S. Marshals actually contacted me. They got a tip that the car was towed. I had it towed. They got my phone number. They called me on Sunday night and they asked me, said, did you have a car towed from your car wash? I said, yes, I did. He said, well, I said, that's probably like Casey guy from Alabama. Yeah, we believe it's his.
That's
they asked me where did I have it towed, and I told them. So then they said, well, there's a flood of marshals going to be at your house in 30 minutes. Well, they never showed up till the next morning. So that's when, and the news media is what flushed these out. Y'all doing y'all's job. They were hiding in plain sight, but y'all flushed them out where they was able to be caught with nobody else getting hurt. That's the biggest story. Nobody else had to get hurt but them.
Yeah, and thankfully you didn't get hurt, because I'm just thinking you were so courageous to go and sneak around that truck. I don't know if I would have had the guts to do that. Now, once all of that went down, what was your reaction to all of the activity yesterday, on Monday, when they were targeted, when they were found and they actually fled and Vicky White well, we don't know if she killed herself, but she was shot.
When I called the marshals back yesterday morning. I said, Vicky's still in the picture. I got her on camera coming, circling around and picking him up from the car wash. So she's still with him. And they come and they got a picture of the Cadillac she was driving. And then that's when they started looking for a Cadillac. And that's how they discovered them at the motel.
Well, I would hope that all of us are as vigilant and self-aware and aware of our surroundings as you are. James Stinson, thank you so much for making time for us this morning and for sharing your story here on News Nation. And we appreciate what you did to tip off law enforcement, because now some closure, hopefully, for a lot of people. Thank you.
Yeah.
This dude is awesome. He's looking at surveillance tape. He's Googling Casey's picture. He's like a little detective sitting there. If he doesn't get the reward money, then reward money does not matter in any case, which I really don't care about reward money anyway, because it doesn't really seem to lead to anything. But if he doesn't get the reward money, then the reward money that is put up in these cases is a sham. Give him the reward. James is my hero. Him and Boss Hogg from Alabama. I love those two in this case.
I agree 100%. And he was so adamant. He looked at the tattoo. He's like, this is the guy. Put the picture up next to my monitor. I'm telling you guys, this is the guy. And he was acting suspicious. And then she comes, picks him up in a Cadillac. So there's your third vehicle, But them hunkered down for 6 weeks. But if you're going to be hunkered down, they might have gotten away a little bit longer and then just left. But by them going out to a car wash and then getting picked up again. Almost every business now has cameras.
And she
So,
knows that.
yes.
She knows that. They've been sitting in the motel for 6 days, not 6 weeks. I know you didn't mean to say that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 6 days. Sorry.
You know
Thank
they
you.
were watching TV. You know that she sees her mom, hears her mom's voice. Her former boss, the sheriff, talking about her. She knows what's going on. So why'd you let Lurch go wash the car? Like I said, you weren't about to go to the dealership and trade it in. And then she goes and picks him up. They made spectacles of themselves.
They really did. It's like the pre-planning, I'm going to be honest, was pretty freaking good. But afterwards, and especially with her having access to a TV to almost have a leg up as to what law enforcement are thinking and this and that. I mean, and then you go and do this. I'm glad they did because they got caught.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy that I was really worried about, like we all said, going down in a blaze of glory. We're not going down. I mean, why the AR-15 and the other weapons they have? What were those plans for? So,
I guess if somebody comes across them, that's why they said don't approach them. Just call
right.
911. And this guy did. He didn't approach him. I guess they
But
didn't
he
believe
looked.
the tip because if you like from the show last week, I showed the map. I don't think I showed the map. I just read it off of all the sightings that had been called in. Obviously they were in Alabama, Florida, Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee. Indiana was not on the list. Kentucky was not on the list. So they're in Evansville going, well, all these sightings have been in these other states. Deductive reasoning is they're not looking here. So we'll hang out here for a while, maybe. Maybe that was the thought process. I don't know.
Could have been. It could have been. But where was the end game? I mean, you couldn't go to Canada because, I mean, all the borders were looking for them, I'm sure. I mean, this was a nationwide manhunt.
I think it got to the point, just my guess, they were just going to figure out their next move slowly. Because the sheriff did say early on, wasn't the sheriff. Let me think who it was. I want to say it was Dog the Bounty Hunter that said they're probably laying low somewhere waiting for this to die down. Well, they went to he went to wash the truck. That was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to talk about this comment. I heard this morning. I think it was on the Today Show, Juicy Tequila Bobo. I love this. So, old Casey is sitting in a cell in handcuffs and shackles. And our favorite sheriff said he doesn't care if he sues for a violation of his civil rights. He's not going to escape again. He's going to sit right there, cuffed and shackled in his cell.
No, he's not going anywhere.
No, because that's just not done. But it's done on this time. It is.
Right.
All right. Speaking of the sheriff, he did speak this morning. He said he's shocked by her decisions. And, of course, my favorite comment of the day is that Casey's going to stay handcuffed and shackled in his cell. And he does not care if he sues for a civil rights violation. I just about died laughing. Here we go.
Yeah.
Kelsey Kernstein right now. Last week, she was in Alabama speaking with Vicky White's coworkers, her boss, the sheriff there, visiting the jail where Vicky White worked and where Casey White was being held as an inmate. Kelsey is joining us now to explain what the Lauderdale County Sheriff is saying about the outcome of the manhunt. Kelsey.
Well, Adrian, Sheriff Singleton told me time and time again he considered Vicky White family. They had worked together for 16 plus years. She was a model employee, even winning an award. And I was there reporting Alabama all last week, interviewing Sheriff Rick Singleton. He spoke of how responsible, dedicated, hardworking Vicky was, saying she must have been coerced. But then with time, investigators were able to uncover that Vicky was visiting Casey White in prison for 1 to 2 years with under different aliases. Now, Singleton also just shocked. How could Vicky do something like this? We trusted her. Singleton spoke to Rudabeh Shabazi on Prime last night, saying he has finally come to some acceptance that maybe Vicky White wasn't who he thought she was.
We thought we knew Vicky White. Obviously, we didn't. To think that she was capable of pulling a stunt like this just is beyond imagination. I mean, I guess we're still struggling with it to a degree, but she absolutely, planned this, orchestrated it. He was behind bars. He really couldn't do much in the position he was in. So she put all this together, and it's all on her.
And I have to point out, this is about a town of about 40,000, Florence, Alabama. This has been a whirlwind for them, as well as Sheriff Singleton, really shocked by all of the media this whole situation has been getting. And we saw him somewhat choked up on that presser last night, making the announcement that both of them were in custody. And I'm sure this has been extremely overwhelming for Rick Singleton. But we also know that Vicky was rushed to the hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and an autopsy report is expected to be performed today. Adrian.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, I'm sure he's pretty distraught. And also, he mentioned yesterday how many years he's been in law enforcement. And I've never had a week like I've had recently. Never. This is new territory, dealing with the marshals, law enforcement in other states, dealing with the national media.
Being on the news just like that alone, I mean, I think he's done a good job for not having to do this before.
Yeah.
And when he said, I don't think I really knew who Vicky was. I honestly think he knew the old Vicky. I think something changed over the last 2, maybe even longer years, but let's say for now, since 2020, I think something in her snapped and changed. But I do kind of think he did know Vicky up until she met this guy. And I think she had aliases. She went to visit him in jail. You had to have ID for that. That's some criminal stuff. That's not easy to come by.
No, and every time he did a news conference and there was a new revelation, he looked even more stunned at what she'd been doing right under their noses.
Yes. That's what amazes me about the pre-planning and how luckily sucky the after planning was. In a way, like it's bizarre.
The after planning is the weird part. It seems to me that these two got so in the throes of passion, they kind of considered themselves any other couple. I mean, to the point where it's like, yeah, honey, go wash the car. I'll be here. I'll pick you up.
My wife, and he gets out and calls her his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, obviously he was in love with her.
Oh, he better be. Woo, she got him out of jail. So there's his mugshot. Again, looks like a totally different person. To me.
I thought that too.
To me, looks like a totally different person.
Than all the other 4 or 5 pictures that he had. He looks different there too. But that guy noticed the height and the tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Plus when you have that bag of lingerie and sex toys she picked up, I don't think they were really thinking with their right minds anymore.
Not the right head, that's for sure. Oh my God.
No, they were busy, busy. Yeah, you're
Oh,
right. Prime time. Yeah, the ears don't change. So now he's in jail with no extra biscuits, no beefaroni. Nobody's going to take care of him. Sheriff already said he's going to sit there on his dead ass with shackles and handcuffs on and doesn't even care if he sues the state for a violation of his civil rights.
nope. He's like, bring it. I don't even care. You're locked up. He almost looks, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you see anger and a little bit of sadness in his eyes in that new picture?
Let me look again. We're looking. Oh, look at those puppy dog eyes.
Yes.
He lost his love.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what I see. I see anger from down by his mouth, but the eyes show me sadness in a way.
he
I
lost.
just,
He lost his Valentine.
well, that's what happens.
He lost his Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a defense attorney that weighed in today about how he can defend this action. A lot of people are saying, how can he defend this? I'd love to know too. I don't think it really matters considering he's going to be going to death row anyway for the murder in, I think it was 2015. So I mean, Casey, if you really care that much about this charge being taken away, I guess, try to get a good defense. But, you were at the car wash and didn't try to get away. There's no defense. So let's look at this.
Yeah.
Somebody who has a long criminal history. It's somebody who's been troubled since their youth. And when you use drugs, there can be a whole bunch of stories that you create in your mind. But in terms of the legality of this case, he was already awaiting trial on this case involving Connie Ridgway, this woman that we're speaking about.
Correct. So he was already serving a sentence of 75 years for the offenses that she just mentioned. It was a robbery, it was attempt murder, and various other violent offenses. In addition to that, he has a pending capital murder charge. So that was set to go to trial in June. It'll probably be delayed, but it's a capital case. It's a death penalty case. Now he's facing these charges. These charges will be escape. It'll be forgery and identity theft based on the accomplice liability. It could be fleeing and eluding. It'll be conspiracy and several other charges, possibly even on the federal level as well. So he's in a world of trouble right now. But to be very candid, the capital case is more serious and serves more of a serious penalty, obviously, than the current charges he will be facing.
So that's what my question was. Does it even matter? Do any of these charges, escaping his cell and going off on this, this evading of officers, does that even matter when he's facing 75 years from previous charges?
Well, it always matters. He has to be held accountable for his actions in this incident. However, it's not going to be as serious as far as a penalty is concerned compared to the capital charges. He's already on a 75-year sentence. I don't know what they're going to charge him with for this escape charge, but I doubt it's going to reach the 75-year sentence. And I don't think any of these charges are going to be capital-based. Typically, murder is the only capital. Sometimes sex offenses are, but he's charged with murder, which is a capital-based offense. None of these offenses, the escape, the forgery, anything else that they might conjure up on him is going to be a capital case.
But what about in terms of where he'll be now confined? Because clearly there's something that's going to have to change at this Alabama detention center. And I'm sure they're having all kinds of meetings to discuss how Vicky White, that corrections officer, was able.
I have to interject. Something already did change. Vicky doesn't work there anymore. He doesn't have a lover on the inside anymore. I have a feeling you're not going to get away with shit at that prison ever again.
I agree.
Yeah, sorry, reporter. Something's already changed. Look at the picture behind you. That's the wrecked car.
Able to just leave. Essentially, nobody stopped her. Nobody questioned her. Would he be detained back at that facility, do you think, or would he go to some sort of, higher security federal location?
No, well, first of all, they're going to have to extradite him. So if he's still in Indiana, which I think he is, he'll be there probably for a couple of days until he's extradited back to Alabama. Once he goes back to Alabama, he's going to be charged in that county. He's essentially going to have to stay in that facility. What I expect is that there'll be very high security measures and precautions to make sure he doesn't go anywhere, but he'll be back there.
And Singleton also said last night.
You're talking about the sheriff again.
The sheriff Singleton said he plans to have him handcuffed and shackled morning through the night. And that's even if a civil rights attorney has to get involved.
Well, like 24-hour surveillance
24
at
hours
this
a day.
point. It's just, he had nothing to lose, is what Sheriff Singleton told us early on in the days of this manhunt. But
what civil rights attorney would actually get involved with this and say, hey, uncuff my boy Casey. He's not going nowhere.
No, even in his sleep, get used to it. Don't turn at night so you hear rattle, rattle, rattle. This was his fault too.
Yeah,
you could have stayed.
Yeah. You're going to have to figure it all out.
Yep.
Yeah. What civil rights attorney? Well, there's always an ambulance chaser out there. Let's see if anybody tries.
Yeah.
In terms of a defense for whoever's representing Casey White, is there a defense?
There's always a defense. This defense, I think, would be based on his mental capacity, his possible lack of medication, and apparently his drug use, his self-medication with meth or whatever it is. It doesn't sound here, and I don't know if I have enough to say this, but it doesn't sound like he was the mastermind here. It sounds like he was more manipulated. They're probably going to base a defense theory on that. It sounds like maybe Vicky White was more of the mastermind behind this. He sounds like...
Oh, come on. Now, they'll try anything. I get that. They will. They'll try anything. I get it. Put him in front of a jury of, you can't call them his peers because you can't find anyone like him, to listen to him become the victim. Come on. Not to mention he's facing capital murder charges. I wouldn't waste 2 seconds of a court's time on this. Charge him, let it hang out there, and get him on death row for the murder.
That's taxpayer dollars. I know there's due process, and I get all that. And adding this charge and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, when I talked to you earlier, I was like, is he going to use the defense? She took me. I didn't know, and I just went with it. No, you can't do that, because you could have run away in the truck.
Nobody's going to buy that. Nobody.
No.
Nobody's going to buy that. Not with new clothes and sex toys in a car wash. Come on.
Nope. They were having fun.
Ridiculous. They were on an escapade.
You could say that.
Like more of an impulsive guy based on his mental health history, based on his drug use. It sounds like he's more reactive. So if there is a defense, I think it would be based on something like that, based on the fact that he wasn't really the mastermind behind this, and he has a mental health issue.
And then, of course, once we dig into this case a little bit, it could be seen that they both manipulated each other for different purposes, clearly with the complicated relationship that they had. Matt, good to see you. Kelsey,
nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Did she just say the complicated relationship they had?
Yeah, she did.
Can somebody help me here? Based on now we already had to hear about his mental health, cry me a river, self-medicating with meth, cry me a river. He can say that she masterminded this. Again, don't care. She'd been slipping biscuits and beefaroni for quite a while.
Right.
They were definitely on the run. He drove the truck. Over to wash it and everything. He can't claim anything. But this is the comment of the day from that reporter. Now, I tell you what, she can't even let anyone finish a sentence when she's interviewing. I felt bad for the car wash man, because I wanted to hear more from him, not her.
She did. She kept cutting him off.
Yeah, the complicated relationship they had. Sounds to me like they got along.
Complicit?
Sounds to me like they got along just fine.
Yes. They were complicit and they were in love.
Are you kidding me? They were peas and carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing complicated about that at all. With the when you take away the jailbreak and getaway cars and the nationwide manhunt, I agree with Juicy Tequila Bobo. This is the love story of the year.
I mean, she was going to the toy shop, bought him some new digs,
Yeah.
to wear.
Mhm.
And he had on some new clothes, you could tell. And she was preparing for, like if they were on a honeymoon.
Oh, they
Let's
were
get
on a
it
honeymoon.
on.
They
You
were on
know,
a honeymoon. They were on a honeymoon. I have a feeling they had the do not disturb sign out quite a bit.
I guarantee it. Ugh, I guarantee it. Moobs and all.
I know.
Oh,
I still can't get over, when the collision occurred, which was purposeful by the officers. He gets out, please help my wife. She shot herself and I didn't do it. They're not there to help you, Casey. They're not there to
no,
see if you're okay. So you think if they save her, she's going to break you out of jail again?
right?
You
They
think
were
if
wanted. Sorry, wasn't he wanted dead or alive by the marshals?
yeah,
Wasn't that kind of the sentiment of
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah,
this wasn't a pullover to see how they were doing. Did he honestly think that they were going to put her in the ambulance, do surgery, and she would be able to visit him in jail or possibly get him out again? Because she was going to be going to jail too. What crazy? He acts like they're there checking on concerned citizens. I mean, checking on citizens like they're concerned about him.
no, no.
Mm,
He's
mm.
delusional.
Very delusional. Yeah, Ruby Roo, exactly. He's like, hey, can we get her to life so she can go back to work and be my guard? That'd be super great for me. Thanks. Love you. Yeah. Help my wife. She shot herself. I didn't do it. I mean, come on. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, guys, I'm going to wind this down. Now, there's a press conference at 11 o'clock Central. I've got to find it, and I will go live again here in about an hour. Just give me some time, okay?
Okie dokie. Thanks for having
Everybody,
me on, Brooks.
always my friend, my sister from another mister.
That's right.
And I agree with Fun to Ski. The honeymoon is now over. Like I said, look at this. This is the look of a man that knows he'll never have another biscuit on his tray.
And that goes two ways. Just saying.
He will never have the extra big can of beefaroni. He will never get his tray and see that extra biscuit.
No, he won't.
Nope. And on that note, I got to go find this press conference, and I'll be back in an hour, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.